Hello everyone, I'm Onion Yabor and this is Pro-Lit-Fic, and my work is to help people attain higher consciousness through creativity, and today's video topic is consistency versus inspiration. Now, this is a very interesting one because I feel like oftentimes as creatives we're often waiting for the muse to come along and sort of give us that creative burst and that creative spark. I think this is where it can be very difficult when we try to step into the professional arena, where specifically that type of inspiration needs to come a bit on call because of the limitations of creativity, as well as just the production that is needed to plug into the greater economy and such. Now, I want to tell a story about Will Smith when him and his dad needed to make a wall. And every day he would just go out and make that wall brick by brick. And at first, Will thought it was kind of like a useless, kind of dumb exercise or whatever. But his dad had him come out, and over time he began to see that wall. And what was interesting is that rather than trying to think of the whole everything all at once, his dad just taught him, like, I don't need you to think about the whole wall and trying to make this perfect wall. All I need you to do is take that one brick and lay it as perfectly and as good as you can, day by day. And then if you do that enough times, if you lay this one brick as perfectly as possible, and then the next brick as perfectly as possible, trust that in the end, when the wall is finished, you'll have the best possible wall you could make. And I think this is a really good lesson for how each of us can start applying and moving beyond that. My very first novel that I still haven't set out or whatever, but that I'm hoping to get published in the next couple years, was Tracy Thatcher Monster Catcher. It's about this girl who starts helping this organization put monsters back into a ring that she gets from a wizard. And she's a 13-year-old girl, very, very fun story. And originally, I had this idea of 7 books, and I've done this big grand outline of it, but getting that first novel done was really, really tough. And I remember making a decision. It was actually around this time, 4 or 5 years ago, in 2018. And then I finished it in January 2019 because I just decided I was going to write 1,000 words every single day. And it was only about a 65,000, 70,000 page novel. And I'd already done about half of it. And so when I sat down, it only took me about a month to finish it. And I was blown away because I didn't realize how fast I could get that done. And it was just the first draft, but it went from being this huge, lengthy, big project that I've been focusing on and trying to do all this stuff. I just sat down and thought, I don't have to get all this stuff down. I just have to do the best 1,000 words that I can and trust that that'll help in the story, and remembering that I could edit it. And just that mindset allowed me to finish that first novel. Now, that wasn't the very first book I had written. I had written other novellas that were part of different series and stuff. But being a fully contained novel, that was one of the biggest breakthroughs that I'd had, was just realizing from making that decision to be consistent rather than always looking for some inspiration or trying to understand some scene more deeply. I was just able to sit in front and do the very best I could with what I had planned, and I didn't need to do any more than that. And when I hit a writer's block or whatever, sometimes it was just as simple as she walks in the room, there is something sitting on the door, and it just built from that. And being able to step into that allowed my process to flow because I wasn't focusing on trying to build the whole novel, right? I was just trying to lay that brick, that 1,000 words, as best I can. And learning to be present is something that's helped me. This is why meditation comes in so handy, because as you're more present with your work, you learn to focus on just what is in front of you. And then from there, we begin to see growth. And that's where the brilliance really begins to come in and to shine. Now, before I continue, if you like what you're hearing, please take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second and makes a massive difference. And if you know anybody who may benefit from the video, please don't hesitate to share. It's referrals like these that help spread the message and help this channel grow so that more people like you can benefit. Now, the final point I want to make is the impact just having little consistent behaviors can. A lot of the time we think about goals, right? When really I think it's a much better approach to think about what are the habits that I need to have in order to get that goal. So for instance, if I want to write a book, I don't need to be saying, okay, I want to write a book that's 70,000 pages, 70,000 words. 70,000 pages would be a massive book, but 70,000 word book and whatever. So it's like, okay, if I want to get that done in 3 months, then I know I need to write about 850 words per day. So if I'm going to focus on just writing 850 words per day, and I put in an hour of my time every single day, you already know whether you're moving towards your goals or not. It's not this giant mystery. And that's the thing is, when you take the mystery out of your goal finding, you realize like, obtaining your goals and getting where you need to go is not this big lofty thing. It's just about making sure you put one foot in front of the other and staying hopeful. A lot of the time what we're doing when we're looking for inspiration is honestly we're looking for permission for something outside of us, whether it be from the universe, from God, or even like lo and behold, God forbid, it should be from like our parents or our friends or, that girl we like. We're always looking for permission to do what it is we know we want to do, but we need that validation from someone in order to feel like we can do that. And that's what holds a lot of us back, is because we're seeking validation from people, frankly, who aren't invested, and they won't care until after the fact. That's the difficulty, because especially as a creative person, we've been tapped and given the opportunity to tap into sort of a higher field of existence, so to speak. We think and feel on a spiritual level, right? You see the story in your head and you feel it in your heart before anybody else can. And in order for them to do that, you need to transmute that, make the alchemy of putting that onto pen and paper, or through pen and paper, then giving people that story, allowing them to then experience that story. But only then will they be able to experience it. Now, if someone's patient enough and wants to sit down and listen to you tell it to them, they might be able to experience the story that way. But that ultimately doesn't get your message out there. And it doesn't create a medium upon which multiple people can enjoy your vision. So oftentimes what we'll see is the universe, and I believe God, will shorten our capacity to tell that and make it in such a way where we must endure the discipline, the daily discipline of putting that word by word, paragraph by paragraph, down so that it can be read. And I think it is through this that the process begins to change us. Not only first off, we get better at receiving the story, and we realize that it doesn't come by inspiration, but it comes by discipline that we create and are able to build on our internal creativity. A lot of the time it does feel as though it comes from something beyond us, but rather than thinking that this muse that comes and visits us and that we have to wait to be energized like anything else, we can purify ourselves as conduits to receive that story by simply with our daily disciplines, by deciding, hey, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write this many words per day, and I'm just going to do that until it is done. And then having the belief not only in the process, but also enjoying the project enough that you'll do that. And recognize that we have to eat every day. Hopefully most of us shower and, brush our teeth and, go to work. We have to live day by day. And, beyond living like some crippling mental illness or something like that, we get up and live our lives. And so it's simply about just taking that project, that goal, that habit that we've decided that we want to integrate into ourselves, and simply allowing it a space in our lives. So at first we do that by simply just deciding what it is we want, and then what is the habit that we need to get that, and then committing to the daily discipline of that habit. And then you won't see it at the beginning, just like working out, just like that wall. You don't see it with that first initial brick, or even that second or that third. It's only after many times of laying that brick as perfectly as you can, being as present as you can, day by day, that you begin to see the wall build. And then one day, it's done. and then you move on to the next thing. And recognize that first time doing it is always the scariest part. But when you do it that one time, man, it separates you and you're in this different category. I remember I had finished other books by then, but there was something about making the decision to finish Tracy Thatcher and the way I did it, because it was such a disciplined way. It was the first time I think I really approached a book project like that. I really saw the nature of how I finished my books change after that, because I realized it wasn't this thing that needed to be pulled inside of me. It was just as simple as a decision to finish the book and to live as I knew I needed to be. Now, I don't always do that, and that's why I'm working out here and working to do the daily disciplines of these videos and get them out to you guys every day. But it's ultimately just making the decision and deciding, who am I going to be, and recognizing that my consistency is my inspiration. Before I end the video, I just want to say thank you for the time, and if there are any of you out there who are in need of guidance for unlocking greater creativity and you would like to work together, don't hesitate to book a time using the link down below in the description. I have a wait list of clients, but I love to connect with new people who I can better assist towards their goals. Also, like I said before, if you found anything in this video helpful, please feel free to share it with someone who can be in need of it, as well as like and subscribe on the video. It makes a massive difference in helping spread the message. And again, I would like you to say, stay happy, stay healthy, and remember, your consistency is your inspiration. Peace.